Again, I'll just go like page by page. So if there's something you've got a question on, you want to ask? Yep. 4. All right, so it said to graph, I'm going to write it over here, x plus 3, where x is less than or equal to negative 1, and x squared minus 1, where x is greater than negative 1, okay? So it's just like this on your test where you're going to have to graph your piecewise function and then evaluate. So a graph and then answer a question. So to graph, you've got options, but one option is graph, like especially the line, graph your line, okay? And then erase what you don't want. Think that you're obviously doing this on paper and pencil tomorrow, so it's a little bit different than doing it on Notability. If you did it that way, then I'm going to start at positive 3, and my slope is 1. So I go up 1 and to the right 1, or down 1 and to the left 1, and I would draw the line. But I only want to keep it where it's less than or equal to negative 1. So negative 1 would have a solid dot, and I would point my arrow left. And then I would erase all the rest of it. And then the second one is your parabola, right? We know it's a parabola that's shifted down 1 unit, so we could at least plot that 1 point, but then we need to get exact points left and right. So if we're, on this case, we go up and out 1, which helps us get those 2 points. But if we didn't remember that, then I would plug in a negative 1. So negative 1 goes inside the parentheses. This becomes 1 minus 1, which is 0. And that means it's an open dot there because it doesn't say or equal to. And then it would go up and out to the right 1, and I know it's a parabola, so my overall shape looks something like this. So when I'm grading your piecewise function, 1, I'm checking your dots. They have to be open, closed. Like AP took a test yesterday, and they did have a piecewise function, and I will tell you mistakes made where the dot's not being filled in correctly. One's got to be open, one's got to be closed. If this is or equal to, and then not. If they were both just greater than and less than, they would both be open dots, okay? And then obviously make sure that you erase the part that you're supposed to erase. That line was only where x is less than or equal to negative 1, and the parabola was only where x was greater than negative 1. And then the second part of this said to evaluate. So it said find f of negative 1, and it said find f of 7. If I didn't have the equations, I'd have to go to the graph, I'd have to find 7 and find that point, and I'd have to go to negative 1 and find that point. Negative 1's not so bad because they're plotted, okay, but you might trip up because there's 2 points there. Which one do you know to take? How would I choose between the 2 points where x is negative 1? The closed one, so this would be 2, okay, that's a negative 1. But also, I have the functions, so instead I'm going to use those. Negative 1 would be less than or equal to negative 1, so I would know to plug it into the top one. So negative 1 plus 3 is 2. And then 7 is greater than or equal to negative 1, so I would plug it into 7 squared minus 1, 49 minus 1, which is 48. I definitely don't see 7 on my graph, so this is definitely the better option. You'd have to plug it in either way. Any other questions from the first page? All right, then we get into 1, 1, 1, 2 on the second page. Any questions on those? I don't know if this is a good sign or not. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Okay, so 31 says, write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line through the given point that is parallel and then be perpendicular. So here's the point you're given, or the line you're given. All right, so from this equation, we needed slope. Remember, the shortcut is negative a over b. So it's negative 5 over negative 4, which is 5/4. If you forget that shortcut, you need to take that equation and solve it for y so that you know what your m is. Like, that would be the worst thing you could do is mess up the m from the beginning because then you use it wrong twice. So the first thing I'm going to find is the equation of a line that's parallel to that initial one, which means that my slope stays the same. And then I'm going to find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to that one, which means I do the opposite reciprocal. So then for both of them, this is my x1 and my y1. I'm going to start with A. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My y stays y. My y1 is negative 2. So minus a negative 2 becomes plus 2. Equals the m is 5/4. And then x minus 3. And then I want to distribute the 5/4. So y plus 2 equals 5/4 x minus 15/4. And then I want to subtract the 2. Y equals 5/4 x. That 2 becomes 8/4. So I get negative 15 minus 8, or negative 27/4. Wait, 15, nope, just kidding. 23/4, okay? All right, then for B, I'm going to do the same thing, but now my slope is negative 4/5. So y minus a negative 2 becomes plus 2 equals negative 4/5 x minus 3. Distribute the 4/5. Y plus 2 equals negative 4/5 x plus 12/5. And then subtract the 2, which is 10/5. And I get y equals negative 4/5 x plus 2/5. So first thing you're finding from the equation is its slope, and that's the only thing you're pulling out of it. And then for parallel, we keep the slope, and for perpendicular, we do opposite reciprocal.
Wait, do you think you could go over 4?
Third page, now you're into the big graphing calculator one. So it's going to ask you to graph it. Domain, range, increasing, decreasing, zeros, relative max and min. Okay, well, I'm going to go over this so that I don't have to answer this question tomorrow because we've said it so many times. When you're giving relative max and min, these are coordinate points, right? They have to be coordinate points because it's not an absolute max and it's not an absolute min. So when you are writing max, it has to be the xy at the max. When you're writing min, it has to be the xy at the min. When you're listing zeros, you are listing them, so you're just giving the x values. If it had asked for x-intercepts, that's when it's coordinate points. So intercepts and relative max and min are coordinate points, okay? Things like your zeros or find f of negative 2 is just the y. The zeros are the x values when y is 0, and the f of negative 2 is the y value where f is negative 2.7. Off the even odd, so it's not going to ask you even, odd, or neither. The rest of it fair game, but it is going to ask for x symmetry, y symmetry, and origin symmetry from an equation. But the graphing one does not have even on. Okay, page 4. Now we're into 1-3. Well, a little bit of 1-2 and 1-3. Questions on any of these? So it starts with your evaluating. It got into domain. It got into your difference quotient. Domain and range algebraically. So domain you want to be able to do algebraically. Range it would be from a graph. And then it got into your vertical line test. Using the graphing utility to find your increasing and decreasing. Your max and min. So this question's all going to get put into 1. Just like the page before it. And then piecewise came back again. Look at this. I don't even know what this is. I guess in a previous year, maybe I created another example. You could totally ignore this 3. I was trying to clean it up, but it's like a mess. This came from like another scenario, I think. So the answer to that A is 2. I don't know where that guy came from. And I will tell you that this was hard when it graphed. When it graphed, it like gets cut off. It kind of like went like, oops, color would be good. It kind of like went like that, right? So the point here is what you needed in order to change from increasing to decreasing, because from that point on, it was increasing. So if you just traced it, I think the closest you could get was like 6.1, which is fine. But from that point on, your graph was increasing. And then there was no decreasing part. Yeah. Yep. So 1, I would have used the graphing utilities. Okay, this is, what number am I on? 67, okay? So on 67, I got a graph like this. And I'll tell you that on your test, it's all one big question. So based on this graph, it could ask you max, min, increasing, decreasing, domain, range, all of it in this one, okay? So in order, this on the PDF, it just asks for increasing and decreasing. But I need to know my max and min to get there. So I'm gonna go second trace, I'm gonna go to max, I'm gonna go left of the max, I'm gonna go right of the max, and I'm gonna hit enter, and my first max is at -1, 2. And then I'm gonna repeat that for the min. So I go to min, I go left of it, I go right of it, I hit enter, and I've got a min at 1, -2. And then let's say it asks for the zeros, because it's gonna ask for all that stuff. Second trace, go to my zeros. There's 3 of them. So I'm gonna go left, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna hit enter, and I have a 0 at -1.7. Your test is gonna tell you to round to the nearest tenth. The second 0 is at 0, and the third 0 is at 1.7. The domain would be all real numbers, the range would be all real numbers. So 0, no, it's a good question. Zeros, we list all the x values, okay? The max and min, because these are relative, you have to give it in coordinate point form. And then if it asks for intercepts, you have to give it in coordinate point form. But zeros, they would just be a list of the x values in which your y is 0. So now if I want to do my increasing, decreasing behavior from -infinity up until that first x, which was -1, my graph is increasing. -infinity to -1, always get to parentheses. Then it changes and it comes down, and so it's decreasing from that -1 to the next x, which was +1. And then it changes direction again and goes up, which means it's increasing again from +1 to +infinity. So everywhere you've got a max or a min, you're obviously going to give those, and you're going to give them in coordinate point form, and that is what changes your increasing and decreasing pattern. Okay, last page. Parent functions and composite functions. Okay. As a reminder, on your parent function, it's going to be multi-part like that. A, give the parent function. B, describe the transformations. God bless you. C, domain. I don't know if it goes in this order. D, range. E, graph. So our parent function is our f of x equals x squared, or f of x equals absolute value of x, or f of x equals x, the square root of x, right? Whatever that parent function is equation-wise. Our transformations are reflected over the x-axis, reflected over the y-axis, vertically stretched, vertically shrunk, horizontally stretched, horizontally shrunk, shift right, left, shift up or down. So you'll literally list them all out. And then we'll base our domain and range off the graph, or domain can also be based off of your equation. And then obviously you're going to be asked to graph it. Yeah.
For the graph, is that is it accurate?
So if it's 1 point, should be 100% accurate. If it's your vertex, then wherever your vertex is, if it's a V, wherever that V point is, square root the start, right? But then I'm not so worried about a stretch or shrink. I need to see it shift right, left, up, down, like that. And if you intend for it to be vertically stretched, you either have to state it in your transformation, or your graph should be vertically stretched or shrunk, same thing. So narrow, wide, stretch, shrunk, that kind of thing, I should be able to see from your graph. But outside of that one major point, I don't need you to plot additional points. This is an approximation of what that graph looks like. Any other questions for me? I'm going to let you work, and you can obviously ask questions while you work, but I wanted to make sure if there was general questions, they got answered. Of importance, okay, I would move to the full review next, because that literally has all of that, okay? And then the solutions are there for you to be checking while you're working. The extra graph practice is the full, like, here's graph this and then answer multiple parts, which is how you'll start your test. And then there's an extra review that has most, it doesn't have all, but it has most of like a second round of questions that you can practice. And then all the way at the bottom is your difference quotient if that's something that you need the practice on. These are the things that you can be working on today, okay? I'll give you the class period to work on it. I'll walk around so that I am clear. You have to be working on one of these. Not another class, not anything else. One of these things, okay? You can obviously ask me for help. You can ask your table mates for help. Like that stuff, that's totally fine, okay?